Hey MJ, what are we doing today?
Okay, well today we got another episode of the Off the Cuff podcast, but we're doing a little different today. We're gonna take the show on the road, get out and get on campus and meet some interesting people.
So you're telling me that we're going to get in a police RV and drive around campus and pick up our guests and interview them in the vehicle as we're driving and as we're stopping somewhere on campus?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, why stay in the studio? Because our community's out there, so we wanna get out there. I mean, what do you think about all that?
You know, not many there's a lot of police podcasts, but I haven't seen any of them actually driving around and picking up their guests. So we're going to be unique.
I think so too. Let's get out there. Well, after you, sir.
Thank you.
Right, on the road. How's the mobile command unit feeling today?
You know, the mobile command, she does well. You know, it's a 2009 GMC. We got it the same year Tartar came to Virginia Tech. So we are both kind of like relics or antiques of the Virginia Tech Police Department.
You know, essential pieces of the Virginia Tech Police Department. That's what I say.
What do you exactly do? I mean, when did you come to the police department, and what exactly have you done since you've been here?
So I came in 2018, and like everybody else, when they come to Virginia Tech Police Department, whether you have 20 years of experience or brand new, I started out on patrol as a patrol officer, and spent some time there. I worked on a regional task force that we're a part of, working with some partners in the region in investigations, and now full-time at Virginia Tech in the investigations division, solving cases, helping out people when I can, investigating.
And doing a little podcast.
And doing a little podcast.
Hey, Jeremiah.
Hey, how you doing today?
We're doing pretty good.
Welcome in.
You got a nice ride here.
You met the detective, I call him MJ, but Michael Johnson. Have you met him before?
No. Hey there, Michael. Jeremiah.
Good to meet you.
You as well.
So I don't know if you knew what you're getting yourself into or not, but we're going to drive around campus a little bit and just chat about you and what you do for dining services or don't do for dining services, and then we're going to park a little bit, go in the back, and sit down and chat some more.
Sounds good.
So Jeremiah, how long have you? Did you go to Virginia Tech?
I did. I graduated in 2008.
And I was sure that it was in dining services. The degree was in dining services.
No, it was in business management. So
Yeah.
at least, relative to the experience that I currently have now.
Totally applies. So did you work in dining when you were a student?
I started my senior year. Worked up at Dietrich. Started out in Pan Asia. And then worked in DX, which was the late night facility, and was a student manager down there.
So I also worked for Virginia Tech Dining when I was a student. I did a similar thing. I did my senior year, and I worked a little bit in Dietrich because that was my home base when I went out on the food trucks. Yep. Worked on the food trucks, and so we loaded up at Dietrich and unloaded there, or if there's no weather, they weren't running, then I worked out in D2.
Yep.
Oh, Mike,
Wherever
MJ, I always wanted to work a food truck. Always wanted to work a food truck.
I thought it was great. I enjoyed it. It was a good mix for me of it was real busy and class changes, so time went fast, but then it kind of slowed down when the rush went through, and so we got to put everything back together, get cleaned up, get ready for next time. So it's a good mix. I enjoyed my time there.
Well, Jeremiah, so you worked at DX, and then where did you go from there?
So after DX, I worked there for 5 years as what we call food production supervisor at the time. Now we call them shift leaders, and then assistant manager. After that, in 2012, I started at Hoagie Grill as an operations manager. So I worked there from 2012 to 2022, dealing with the Chick-fil-A, Dunkin' Donuts, Pizza Hut, and our own concept, Blue Ridge Barbecue.
And did you ever imagine? Where are you? What's your job title now? What do you do now?
Now I'm the assistant director for Perry Place, which is the newest dining facility at Hitt Hall.
Did you ever imagine when you were a freshman student here that you would be running a major dining hall at Virginia Tech?
No, and I definitely always try to tell people about the wild ride it is in food service, that what you can do in these careers. So I spent the last 2 years of my life working on building, design, plumbing, electrical, equipment, everything else that doesn't directly relate to just cooking food, which you think that the only thing you may end up doing in this industry.
So what's special about Hit Hall? I mean, it's not Hokey Grill. Let's be honest, it's not Hokey Grill. But what's so special about Hit Hall?
Nothing can ever replace Hokey Grill.
Nothing.
So Hit Hall, the great thing is, as we've built up that side of campus, so the Northwest Academic Quad has gotten bigger. We added Turner in 2012. We knew that before that point, we had no dining facilities on the rest of our academic side of campus. So we knew we were missing serving our students correctly without that. Once you added Turner in, of course, Turner, anyone who's been there, is overworked, long lines. The amount of students that we have that participate in our meal plans is greater than what Turner can handle. So this has been in the plans for a while to try to help alleviate some of that stress and make sure these students have a better experience.
Oh yeah, no, I mean I've always enjoyed going to Lavery. So I know there's a lot going on in there, but in general, what's kind of like some of the highlights of this new dining hall?
I mean, you have 9 concepts in there. One, the students we know from Hokey Grill. So Chick-fil-A is a popular brand, so we brought in a second Chick-fil-A on campus. That's being a full-service Chick-fil-A location, so a little different than the grab-and-go model that previously had. We have Amp Coffee Bar, which is a high-energy coffee bar, music themed, so that one's a lot of fun to me. I think, to me, that's my favorite designed shop. We have Solar X Diner. Students have been begging for all-day breakfast for a very long time. And so finally be able to add that option onto campus, a dedicated breakfast diner.
Awesome. We
have Addison's, which is a C-store, so your convenience store, similar to our Express Lane and Beaver Market that are already on campus. Addison Caldwell was the first student to come to Tech.
Yeah.
So with that, we try to pay homage to say, on that hike that he would have taken, that 26-mile hike, he would have had provisions to make himself through that hike to get here to school. So that's kind of what that location is, stuff to get you through quickly to class without having to deal with a rush. Then having a second floor on there, you have Smoke, which is a barbecue concept. That one was a lot of fun. We went to Austin, Kansas City to do some R&D on that one.
Yeah.
And then we have Veloce, which is Italian, and Veloce just means fast in Italian. So that one's kind of a quick serve. So if you don't want to stand necessarily at the longer lines of, say, Smoke that take a little more processing time, then you can just grab something and head out. And then Fresh and Feta being our Mediterranean location. A lot of those, so when you think about Fresh and Feta and Veloce, is we're very intentional with our ingredients. So we get our ingredients from Fresh and Feta straight from Greece, so it's authentic. So it's going to differentiate from maybe necessarily what you're used to if you haven't actually been to Greece. And then we have Rambutan, which is a franchise, but it's the first of its franchise. So working with Executive Chef Mai Pham, who's a well-known Vietnamese chef, to bring authentic international cuisine on this campus. We have a growing international community, and we want to make sure that we're serving them correctly. So with that, getting in different ingredients that aren't normally available in our area, so spend a lot of work on that. And so that's really the uniqueness of that facility.
Yeah, I sampled that last one. I got a noodle bowl. It was very tasty. I really enjoyed it.
Well, Jeremiah, let's go on in the back and sit down and have a conversation more about VT dining.
So, Jeremiah, how's it going so far? It's just, you guys have been open for about a week or two. How's it going?
Yeah, we just finished our first week. Definitely any time in the food service industry, opening a restaurant is difficult.
Yeah.
It's well known for being one of the hardest tasks you can do. So opening 9 of them at the same time adds to that. But at the same time, it's extremely exciting, and like it's just the adrenaline rush of like what's next, because planning, saying this is how we think it's going to go, this is how this process is going to work, this is how this, and then an hour in, that process doesn't work.
Yeah.
And now we're changing. So within the food service industry, we're all pretty good at reacting and problem solving, figuring out. So this is the fun part of dealing with the stress, but also turning it into fun, figure out, and let's make this work.
Yeah. Well, when like I said, I've come by and visited. I enjoyed the food. And I saw a lot of happy students. I think people are enjoying it.
Yep. Everyone seems like getting great comments. Everyone seems to be enjoying it, having fun, especially the staff, which is the thing that we want to make sure the most important is that they keep in good spirits and just keep pushing. That we're not putting too much pressure on them. Say, whatever problems you're going to have, we're going to work these out. Just have fun at work.
Yeah.
So how's your staffing look? I would imagine that you're fully staffed and you need no students to apply.
I don't ever see that happening, but staffing is not that bad. Really, we did a lot of work, our central hiring department, our marketing department, all through last year on getting staff built up in the other facilities that were intended for Perry Place once it opened up. So that helped alleviate. Like every school year, you're going to have your brand new school year, brand new students that need to get hired in. They didn't start classes till Monday, the day that we open up. They don't come in town until 2 days ahead of time. So it takes time to get them into the system. So once we get them in and rolling, that'll help out a lot.
What's the benefit? Why would a student at Virginia Tech want to work in VT dining?
Flexibility of schedules, and you've got to look at getting a free meal for every shift that you work. So that was the deciding factor for me as a student.
Yeah.
For me, I worked a lot as a student, but I worked outside of tech dining. I had to work 40 hours a week in order to pay all my bills. I came to dining services, and I was able to drop to 30 hours a week, because if you take those free food, like that's shifts that you no longer have to work to be able to pay for it. The other thing is learned life skills. A lot of our students may not have had job experiences yet, or had that customer service experience, learned how kind of the hierarchies within working environments and how those may work. So there's a lot of skills that you learn there. Then on top of that, if you want to build yourself up within, we have leadership positions for all students. So we have what we call student assistant managers, then your student managers, we have student training coordinators, our administrative student managers, and our student general managers. So there's a lot of progression abilities in there, and definitely when it comes to employers in the future asking me for recommendations on staff, if I've got a student manager that's looking for a recommendation, extremely highly recommend them and saying, like, these people were able to mentor and be over their peers at the age of a college student. Like, that helps build that character, and that shows who they are, that they're able to handle those type of situations and still be a leader in those realms. So I think that helps them out a lot.
We have had, it's not just MJ's worked in VT dining. I believe Sergeant Brooks worked in Dietrich, in Dietrich. We have a young lady that's in the academy now, and she was a student manager in VT dining, Bella. So we've had a plethora of folks in the past work for dining.
Yeah, I think Tyler Bray used to work for me as a student manager, and he ended up working for you for a while.
Yeah, he's with me in investigations.
Yep.
I think he enjoyed it. And one thing that I liked about working in Virginia Tech dining was that I had my majors and people that I knew, but getting to that job, you meet people who are completely different majors, not like you, or people who aren't in college, who are out in the community. And it's just a good way to meet some people who have different perspective on life, and also, like you're saying, get some good experience. So to plug it, if I'm a student and I'm looking to join your team, how do I do that?
If you just go to dining.vt.edu, that's the first thing you're going to see right on that page. You just click to say work for dining, and you click on that, and it'll walk you through it.
Okay, well, maybe we'll get some interested people in our audience who are wanting to check it out.
Yeah, definitely. Like you were just jogging my brain when you were saying like meeting new people, right? It's a very diverse workforce, so you get to interact with so many different people. But then, if you're new here, this seems like a big place, right? A big university. Where do I find my place? Well, if I go work for a little bit, I'm getting paid, and you meet those friends. Now you're brought down to a smaller group, right? If you're in one shop, say for us, an Amp Coffee Shop, there's only 4 employees in there, right? Now you're in a smaller group that you get to interact with, get that person. Now you feel you're part of something, but you're also getting to meet people in this new giant environment that you're getting put into.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So what does Jeremiah do? Let's say Jeremiah works, say, 39-hour week, let's pretend. What does he do for that other hour? Is he a hiker? Is he a kayaker? What is he doing?
So outside of work, probably right now the biggest thing that I'm engaged with is my daughter plays softball. And so she's a pitcher, and so I spend a lot of time doing that's fun. The other option is I own a decent amount of land in Giles County. So we have 10 goats, 10 chickens, and that takes up a lot of my process as well, and then our large garden.
What you said about having a farm reminds me, how much of Hitt Hall does the food grown on campus or just off campus on Tech's property?
For Virginia Tech's our farm that we do have for dining services, we utilize those products a lot. I will say that the scale that we are in Virginia Tech Dining Services, our farm's not large enough to produce everything that we need. So the way we try to tackle that is making sure that we're able to get local suppliers and sources from areas around here.
Awesome.
Well,
And so let me talk about Perry Place Hit Hall specifically. So we picked you up there. If I'm a student and I'm looking to get over there, a lot of times I'm going to be in class, walk over there, but sometimes I'm driving over there, and I noticed, let me ask you, if I'm driving up there and I want to stop real quick, is it cool if I just park wherever I want and just throw in my hazards and I just go in real quick, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's, definitely safety concerns and loading dock concerns. Yeah, sorry about that, but that road is really meant for service vehicles only, both for not only just us, Daring, Pamplin, they all use that same area, Beaver Market, so we got to make sure we're keeping that clear. So if you're driving, the parking garage is definitely your best bet. The other option, the new transportation loop, is awesome on campus if you haven't tried it yet. So you can really catch that maroon to orange loop anyway. So if you're parked over on somewhere else in a legitimate parking spot, just grab that loop, jump on there. So we're on the Orange Bay side, and so you're, maybe 200 feet, 300 feet outside of our front door when that bus drops off.
That's a good point, because I was going to say maybe the best way to get there is on foot or the bus, and so apparently the hazards don't cut it if I just want to park.
No,
but
those don't mean you can park anywhere, so I don't need to do that, sorry.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't really consider the garage isn't that far away, so if I'm in the car, it really shouldn't be too hard to park in the garage and walk over. Okay, all right, so no just parking anywhere just because I feel like it. Got it.
Well, Jeremiah, we have this segment. We have MJ's Legal Corner. We're going to do that in a minute. But let's talk about rapid fire. So, and you help me jump in. So we're going to give you, 2 choices. You pick one of them.
Take a drink of my
Absolutely.
Yes.
Take a drink before you.
Amp Cold Brew. I like it. That's the Hokey Dining product.
And where do I get that at in Hit Hall?
Amp, which is our high energy coffee bar on the first floor.
Okay. So, first question, rapid fire is best dining hall on campus, Hokey Grill or Hit Hall? Hit Hall.
Okay, winter or summer?
Winter.
Okay, well, winter.
Old farm truck or brand new convertible?
Old farm truck.
Okay, and then here's one for you specifically. You're eating lunch first floor or second floor of Perry Place?
Second floor, gotta go smoke.
Second floor is where it's at. Okay.
Best place you ever lived, Spotsylvania County or Giles County?
Giles County, being part of the Blacksburg and Virginia Tech environment.
You got another one for me?
I would say, all right, you're going dessert. Are you looking for cake or brownies?
Ooh, probably brownies. I'm not actually the biggest dessert fan.
I gotta pick something. Hey, you guys serve dessert in there, right?
Yep, we do have dessert in every location.
Football or hockey?
Football.
Football. Does it? Yeah, I'm gonna change the subject a little bit. Any of your sports, or any of your dining halls have TVs to watch any kind of sports?
No, definitely that was intentional in kind of our design of the facility, trying to bring that sense of community and you engaging with the people around you. So
right, not watching TV.
Correct.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think we have enough of phones and texting and everything else. Yeah.
Honestly, when I went and visited with the seating areas around there, it seemed like a lot of people were in conversation. Definitely some people doing their own thing, studying. There's a little space for that, but a lot of people were sitting down talking to each other over the food, and that seemed nice.
Yeah, I mean, that's when we talk about dining services, just what we are and what we do. So one of the words we use is we're more than food on a plate, right? So when you come here to school, you probably spend just as much time in one of these dining facilities, especially as a freshman, as you do in a classroom. A lot of your life happens in that table and around the time. Like those conversations with your friends, your family, whoever it may be. So those spaces need to be intentionally designed. So if you go in there, each section's got different music playing, so you got a different little vibe depending on what kind of music you want to enjoy.
Yeah.
So we try to think as much of that through as possible.
That's awesome.
Have you tracked who's eating at the dining hall, the new dining hall? Is it what percentage of students living on campus compare? I would imagine most of them are off campus, but do we know how many students on campus or anything?
We don't know yet. We kind of let some of our trends settle before we start navigating into that. We definitely would think that the large percentage is going to be your off-campus students, being with that transportation hub, adding right there, ease of access, ease to get back to their off-campus housing.
And it's too early in this semester to see if Lavery Hall is you're taking some of their slack, because they were packed. Lavery has been packed in the past.
Yeah, so yesterday the numbers, we did those for the first week, so definitely I think they're, I want to say around a 10% to 15% drop-off. And their head counts are all across the board. Everyone on campus except for Dietrich is down head count wise, and it's in line with Perry's numbers. So that was the goal again, spread it out, create a better experience for students so they're not going to places that have such long lines all the time.
All right, well, I think what we're going to do now is we're going to give MJ a little bit of time in a minute to do his legal corner, but you and I are going to go up front, and once MJ's done, then we're going to take you back. Well, you could walk back, but we'll probably drive.
This time I'm bringing you guys a little nugget of knowledge on going the wrong way on the road. All right, Virginia Code 46.2806, that's establishing one-way roads. So just for information, as a reminder everybody, we've got some one-way roads on campus, and that's going to be Drillfield, College Avenue, and Wall Street. And just off campus we got Jackson Street, that is Blacksburg. And when you are riding a bicycle on a road, you're considered the same as vehicles. You can't be riding those bikes and scooters the wrong way either, okay? So believe it or not, if you're being reckless and endangering people that way, it could actually be considered reckless driving as well. So be careful, make sure you're going the right way on the streets. They're all very well marked, okay? And as we've highlighted before in the podcast, VTPD is really making a big effort to improve traffic safety on campus. We want to keep people safe. We want to make sure everybody's getting around in a safe manner. So you will see officers out there enforcing all these traffic rules. We're going to work on education, not writing everybody a ticket, but beware that you might get yourself a traffic summons to court if you're choosing to break the rules here. So just stay safe on campus, make sure you're following all those signs and going the right way. And that's all for MJ's Legal Corner this time. We'll see you all in the next one. All right, well, Jeremiah, it's been great having you on. I got some gifts here. Got a patch and a badge. And as bad as the parking gets out here, no traffic stops with the patch and badge.
And we're also going to give you a no hokey left behind, because we tell the students, go with friends, stay with friends, and come back with friends. So maybe they could work at dining with friends, stay at dining with friends, and then go back together.
There you go.
We also have "Where's Ringo" sticker. Put that on your water bottle. Don't put it on your clothes because it's going to come off. And on the back, we have a QR code where you can follow us on Instagram. So when we post this amazing podcast, you can see how to watch it. Then we're going to give you the amazing Virginia Tech Police pen, because you're going to wear it in that pocket, and people are going to come up to you and say, "Hey, where did you get that amazing pen?" And you can tell them all about the podcast.
Awesome. I will let you know, my wife asked if I was going to get to ride Ringo, and I said, I don't think they'll let that happen.
No. Ringo he's not ridden, no.
Yeah. All right, well, I appreciate everything y'all do for the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremiah.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Okay, well, that was all for this episode. Thanks for listening in with us. Definitely check out our social media for next upcoming episodes. We've got some exciting things in store.
See you next time.